What's a big industry secret that isn't supposed to be known by the general public? I work at a hospital in an area where there are lots of hospitals. Our has an EMT lounge with free slushies, soda and snack food, so the EMTs choose our hospital when delivering patients. Can confirm, of the 4 hospitals we run to, there is one that is the universal favorite. They have the best snacks and hottest nurses. They know it. They're shameless. If you get in a car accident, and your insurance tries telling you that you have to or that you should take your car to a specific repair facility to get repaired, tell them to go fist themselves. You have no obligation to any insurance company or repair facility. You can take your car to any body shop you like to have the repairs done, and it's against the law for insurance companies to tell you that you can't. However, they often use tricky wording to make you feel like you have no say, especially if you're a woman. Source: estimator and parts manager for a body shop. Customer service text chat can see what you're typing in the box before you hit send. Please help me, the bad man is Comey. Please help me, the bad man I. Please help me, the. Please. Hi, I had a problem with my order. F you, is this real? Yes, it's so they can start looking up what you need faster. And is it also true that the text chatters are dealing with multiple customers at once, hence why there's sometimes a delay? I used to be a chat support rep and I would regularly have 3-4 chats running at a time. Customers are usually so slow to respond that it's really easy to manage, plus we have tons of pre-keyed responses so we rarely ever have to type. Control and H. Hello, my name is, how can I help you today? Control and N. Please hold one moment while I look that up for you. Etc. Until you get that one lightning typer throwing it off for everyone, but that guy is rare. Most people on chat seem to type like 10 WPM. Lol. Next time, I'll type my messages in Notepad and copy paste, then in the meantime just type poop 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 without sending it, because I'm 12 years old I guess. Relative of mine was a mystery shopper and did a lot of car garages. He would get sent in with a car and had to get it serviced and reported on how well it was completed if they found all the faults, if the customer service was up to scratch, etc. The results were usually 6/10, until suddenly every garage was a 10/10 continuously. He investigated as it was a bit suspicious and found Mize, mystery shopper, written on the bottom of the car he was given. One of the garages sussed him out and wrote it there for future garages to find and make sure they have it the best possible service. TLDR, write Mize, mystery shopper, on the bottom of your car when you get it serviced to ensure it gets the best service possible. Edit. This generally refers to large car garages such as Skoda and C to work on their own model cars for their customers. Going to your local mechanic round the corner, he isn't going to expect a mystery shopper anytime soon. It's more the corporate garages who hire Mrs. Graw-Hill makes practically every textbook allowed in America's school. At the end of every year they throw away the tens of thousands of books for the tax write-off because it's going to a recycling plant. I am talking textbook for K through 12, college books of every type, teacher editions, and class sets of short stories and books for kids in process of learning to read. A normal textbook costs a school $60 to $80 a pop, but they throw enough away to educate every child in Africa. When I worked at the recycling plant I wasn't allowed to take them because it was considered illegal to distribute them. I truly lost all hope for the future of humanity after that, and quit my job. The place they're sent to is called Medina Recycling in Ohio. I seriously wanna find a way to make this big news and trash McGraw-Hill over it. It is also a 2-month period that is Medina Recycling's largest contract for profit. Edit. Sorry, the company name is McGraw-Hill. Edit 2. I know I said end of the month, but with a lot of new information coming to light, I realize that I can't do this sloppy, or it is either going to get me in trouble or it'll be swept under the rug. Probably going to get a Kickstarter going on this so I can get around and talk to other schools and McGraw-Hill associates in the tri-state area. Along with creating a huge list of newspaper and media outlets to be notified all at the same time. This is going to be more work than previously thought. Please message me up if you can offer help. Edit 3. Wow, my gold cherry just got popped, thank you. And had to remove evidence of incrimination, but it may be re-released once I talk to my lawyer tomorrow. In sofa couch commercials they use smaller actors models to make the sofa's couches look bigger. I attended a songwriting workshop at Berklee School of Music, and Anna Wise, Grammy-winning songwriter, Kendrick Lamar collaborator, told the audience during a presentation that whenever someone magically blows up on SoundCloud or YouTube, that it's not authentic. A label will sign the artist in secret, and then suddenly boost their viewership tremendously to make it look like the independent artist did it on their own. I mentioned this in my post. Also, there are some clever tricks out there to make artists seem more independent than they are. The band Paramore was first signed to Atlantic, one of the biggest major labels ever, but their albums were released on indie label Fueled by Ramen in order to make them seem more punk or DI. This was literally the post I was going to make. That's what happened with Fall Out Boy, and they realized how well that model worked, so they used it around Panic at the Disco. Paramore, etc. Fob was essentially signed to FBR, and then Atlantic bought most of the label, releasing Tig under it to appear indie. Paramore is a much more interesting story. The label actually only signed Hailey. They then realized she would make more sense in a band, got the band back around her, and then pushed them on FBR for the indie appearance. This is all when Vinny of Less Than Jake, FBR founder, left the label. He was going to do basically a tell-all in alternative press, but it never came out. There's a lot more to it, of course, but that's the basic Cliff Note version. Source: I know the owner of a once extremely huge pop punk label in the early zeros. Edit: this clearly blew up, and a lot of people seem to have questions. You're more than welcome to PM me if you'd like. And Tig refers to Take This to Your Grave, Fall Out Boy's first label album. A bottle of Windex is basically 95% water, 4% ammonia, and 1% blue dye fragrance. The most expensive part of the product is the bottle. So should I just go to Ace and buy ammonia and mix my own? Buy a tin of denatured alcohol, and use that and water for all your glass cleaning needs. Also any metal cleaning you need, it's basically the main component in razor cleaning station solution. Just wear gloves when dealing with it in the bath. Stuff's nasty. Edit: lots of people mentioning vinegar. That's okay for Windows, but don't do that if you're refilling razor cleaning solution cartridges with it. Go straight alcohol for the grease breaking and evaporative properties. Do not dilute. The fresh chocolate chip cookie scent that can be smelled outside of the Magic Kingdom bakery is artificial. It's piped out there to draw you into the bakery. They're called Smellitzers. They're like targeted scent cannons. Disney also cranks the AC up in the shops in the winter time, so it feels colder than it actually is, and you think to yourself, man, I better get that Mickey sweatshirt or I'm gonna be freezing all day. You'd think that wouldn't be worth the cost of cranking up the AC, but then you forget they sell their sweatshirts for $75 and actually own their own power plant. If they had their own police they could pass as a city-state. They do. My sister was on The Biggest Loser. Jillian and Bob were there 2 maybe 3 days a week. They make it seem like they live there. I was a contestant on The Biggest Loser. This is a fact. We mostly spend our days working out by ourselves, or with sub-trainers that the celebrity trainers send in. Edit: took her sister's name out of my comment, not my place to throw that information out there. If you get involuntarily bumped from a flight you can get paid out 200-400% of the flight's cost back depending on how late you get to your destination. If this happens to you they'll offer you a bunch of vouchers, but be persistent and they'll pay you out. If the airline arranges substitute transportation that is scheduled to arrive at your destination between 1 and 2 hours after your original arrival time between 1 and 4 hours on international flights, the airline must pay you an amount equal to 200% of your one-way fare to your final destination that day, with a $650 maximum. If the substitute transportation is scheduled to get you to your destination more than 2 hours later, 4 hours internationally, or if the airline does not make any substitute travel arrangements for you, the compensation doubles. 400% of your one-way fare, $1,300 maximum. Edit. When a flight is overbooked they come over the par and start handing out a few $100 vouchers and put you on the next flight. If you take one of these vouchers you have voluntarily given up your seat. If no one takes them the first round, they keep on going up in voucher amounts, but eventually if no one takes them they're going to have to involuntarily bump people off the plane. If this happens to you make sure you follow above rules. Personally in my experience I had a SWA flight from Phoenix to Chicago on 12/23 at 10 AM. They came over the par offering a $300 voucher and a spot on the next flight. I had nothing special to do except hang out with family so I took it and they put me on the 12 PM flight. 30 minutes before boarding that flight the same thing happens. Well I'll take another $300 and they put me on the 3 PM flight. Guess what? It happens again but this time they gave me $500 and I'm on the 6 PM flight. And you guessed it, they asked for volunteers again and I got another $500 and now I'm on the 8 PM flight. So I spent a day in the airport and sampled all the great dining options at Sky Harbor and ended up with $1,600 in SWA credits to use over the next year.